I want to show you some tools in GIMP that you're going to use for the assignment today. I'm going to show you very briefly how to use them, and then I hope you will explore them on your own and make some very creative pictures. GIMP is a manipulation program, so it doesn't have drawing tools like some programs might. In fact, there's no tool here that will let me draw a rectangle, where most programs would have that. But if you use the select tools up here, freehand, circles and ellipses, or the rectangles, you can make it draw those. So for example, let's do a basic rectangle. I'll show you what you would do. First of all, you select the shape that you want to turn into a drawing. So I want to draw a rectangle. Then pick the paintbrush and select the type of brush that you want. For this first example, I'm just going to do your basic soft brush with sort of a fuzzy outline. And you can pick your color. I'm just going to go with this. I like to bring it over here and see how large it is. That's actually not as big as I want it, so I'm going to increase the scale. That's better. Now watch, once the selection is made, go up to your edit menu, and we are going to go to stroke selection today. What it's going to do is make a stroke across that selection using that brush that you just picked. If it says stroke line, if that's selected, make sure you select stroke with paint tool, and it should have paintbrush selected. Don't worry about this box because it's not going to matter much for what we're doing. If I pick stroke, it is going to go along that selection that I made, stroking that selection with the tool that I picked. So you notice I have a slightly fuzzy rectangle. Now just to show you one more example, I'm going to make a wavy line with the freehand selection tool. If I was doing this for an assignment, I would take my time a little more. If you connect those like I just did, it'll just stop. The tool's not connected. But if you stop the line before they're connected, you might have to do a double click to get those to connect. And again, I'm going to go in here. This time I think I'm going to try something a little more interesting. Let's do this cross. You can test it over here to see what it's going to look like. Okay, I like that. I'm going to undo that scribble. Now remember, it's in Edit, Stroke Selection, make sure it says Paintbrush, and click Stroke. It follows the path of your selection with the brush that you picked. One last trick that might be kind of interesting to you would be this. I'm going to change my brush to something large and a different color. Undo that, and let's make an ellipse, and I'm going to stroke that selection as usual and see what we get. And just a tip, sometimes it looks neat if you hit the delete key and clear out that central spot. Notice that you can select none this way. If you right click in GIMP and go to select, you can select none. It's kind of a nice trick you can use to make an interesting border, so you might want to use that on the assignment as well.